So it's 2026 and we've got an election coming up this year in New Zealand. I've been listening to the media and other politicians for the last 3 years, basically since the last election. The opposition's been running around like Chicken Little, telling us that the sky is falling. People are starving, people can't get jobs, people can't get houses. But at the same time, like, we need to let lots of people in, because, just because like thousands of people are applying for a simple retail job, but we need immigration because apparently we need workers. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But this isn't what the video is about. So we've had all this. So for the last 3 years, everyone's been complaining about how terrible the government's been doing, but the government's been talking about how great they've been doing. They've been fixing the economy from the 6 years of waste and ill management of the Labour and the Left Bloc in the previous 6 years, and they've been working hard to undo it. They've been working hard to undo it, and here in this election year, our government has decided that its number one thing that needs to get done is an under 16 social media ban. Who asks for that? Who wants that? I think you'll find in most polls it's relatively unpopular. You didn't run on it in the last election. You didn't say, hey, when we're elected, we're going to install a under 16 social media ban. So why the rush to have it done so quickly? It makes no sense. No one asked for it. It's not even your job. I mean, who do you think you are? It's not your job to tell people what they can and cannot do on the internet. Your job is to build roads and run the hospitals. Your job is to run the police force and get criminals off the street. And I know a lot of people will say, but crime is done on the internet. Yeah, but what's that going to do with an under 16 social media ban? I understand. I have children myself. I understand that social media can be bad for kids. It's not good. This is why I don't let my daughter watch YouTube and stuff like that, because there's a lot of rubbish on there. A lot of rubbish, and it does affect their behavior negatively if they spend too much time on it. But at the end of the day, that's my job. It's my job to manage. And if I wasn't able to manage, there's hundreds of apps and softwares available that I can purchase, download, and run as parental control software. So there's really no need for the government to install an under 16 social media ban. All you need to do, if you are concerned about it and you are the government, is to put out some messaging, put out some studies and say, hey, look, studies have shown social media is bad for kids. So you as a parent should need to monitor that and control what your children are doing on the internet. But the problem we have is people are freaking useless. And they don't want to do that. They want the government, the mummy government, to do it for them. No, it's not how it works. Not how it works. Now, thankfully, two of the coalition parties are against the social media ban for under 16 because they can see that it is futile. It is futile. We've seen it in other countries. It's relatively futile. You may get some people who don't do it, who it works on, but those people will likely, those kids' parents were likely monitoring them anyway. The kids whose parents aren't monitoring them, they're finding workarounds and everything. So you're not actually fixing the problem. And at the end of the day, it's the parent's job, not the government's. But the real question is why? Why is the government willing to risk its political capital on something like this? It doesn't make any sense. For example, like I said, the government's been telling us about how they've had to work hard to fix the previous government's economic mismanagement, and that if we elect them, they're left back in this upcoming election, they'll undo all their hard work and the country will go down the gurgler. Yet the National Party is willing to risk their political capital to get this social media ban in. Why? Why would they risk the country going backwards with the other parties just to get the social media ban in? Now, I think the old social media ban is a bit of an old Mott and Bailey type thing. I think they sell it, they frame it as protection for children. Hey, we have to protect the children, but in order to protect the children, that means everyone's going to have their ID and stuff logged into the internet. Basically, you're going to have some form of digital ID, and that is what they really want. They want the digital ID. It's a measure of control, basically. Because why else would you need it? Why can't people go on the internet and do whatever they want? I understand that people will say, oh, There's bad people on there. There's people that look at horrible things of children on the internet, and it's like, yeah, they should be caught. But you know what? It's not particularly hard to catch them. You go on YouTube, there's dozens of channels, but those guys find those people all the time, and then they arrange to meet them up with them at like a McDonald's or something, and then they meet them. So why can't the police do that? It's not hard to catch pedos. They're not bloody Machiavellian geniuses. They just want to fuck kids. Fucking find out who they are, put out some bait, catch the little fucking rats, and then launch them off a cliff or something. I don't know. But I don't think we need to police everyone's internet, because there are some bad people out there. We shouldn't let those people do that. At the end of the day, it's up to the police. That's why we pay them money. That's why those laws have been legislated, so the police can find these people. But yeah, but I don't think it goes beyond that. That'll just be another excuse, another way to frame it to make anyone critical of this, what I call government overreach. They'll just use that to berate them. Oh, you don't care about the kids? Oh, you want to let pedos get away, do you? Oh, but really, it's just a way to make you look bad when you're quite fairly critiquing government overreach, which is not the government's job. Like I said, the government's job is to build roads, run the police, run the hospitals, take tax, as much as I hate it, but that is their job. It's not their job's not to police us on the internet. That's it. That's not what it's for. I mean, what's next? Are they going to have people walking around the street making sure people aren't saying the wrong words? They're going to put microphones in our houses to make sure we've got the right opinions, because that's what it all boils down to. And a lot of the people who support this bill are the same sort of people that will complain, that are constantly whinging and catastrophizing that fascists are going to take over. Fascists are coming up. We have to stop this. We have to use these laws to stop fascists. But the fact is, putting these laws in place will actually facilitate it and make it a lot easier for a fascist to take control, because those laws will already exist. They will use those laws to oppress, silence, and to basically control the narrative. So they're putting in laws that would allow that, because once they get this under 16 social media ban in, and they have to have digital ID for other people, next up is hate speech, deciding what is hate speech. Now that is an entirely subjective thing. For example, we had a Green MP during the anti-Israel Palestine war protests up on stage chanting, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." Now, her defense was that she didn't mean it as an attack on Jewish people, and that she doesn't buy into the meaning that it's calling for the genocide of Jewish people in the Middle East. She said she just meant it as a way to show her support for the Palestinian people and that they should be free. Now I agree, Palestinian people should be free. But on the other side, there's a lot of Israeli people, a lot of Jewish people, they see that phrase as a call for their genocide. So from their point of view, it is hate speech. But from Chloe's point of view, is a show of support for the Palestinian people. So with these hate speech laws, for example, it all depends on who's wielding them. So if Chloe was wielding them, then that wouldn't be a hateful comment, and she would face no action from the state for saying that. But if someone who did see that as a hateful phrase was in charge, then it would be a hateful phrase, and Chloe would be facing action from the state for saying these hateful things if hate speech laws get in. So they're stupid, unwieldy laws. Why would you put them in? It makes no sense from who is the government strategist at the moment? So that makes me think. I'm just gonna have to put on my conspiracy hat for a second. Hold on. That makes me think that I don't think that these laws, I don't think they're being I think they're being pushed by someone else. I think there may be some shadowy cabal that says, hey, we need these digital ID laws. Make sure you guys all go out and get these digital ID laws. Don't worry about what the electorate says, left or right. We'll put them in. So who's pushing it? Who wants who wants this internet surveillance so bad, and why do they want it? Well, I've got a couple of theories. One theory is, if you've got digital ID and you know who everyone is, imagine how much more profitable all that metadata and data is on the internet. If you can tie every action on the internet to one person, that's going to be very profitable for you if you have control of that, if you get control of it. Yeah, that's basically my only conspiracy theory. I mean, everything comes down to money at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what the problem is. Money's always at the root of it. And occasionally there's religious extremists and stuff like that, but mostly it's just money. Anyway, I'm back. But yeah, I definitely agree with conspiracy hat me that it's a way not only will it improve profitability for data brokers and advertisers and marketers and giant corporates as a whole. It's also just laziness. It's just laziness. The police want it because they're lazy. The politicians want it because they're arrogant bastards, and they don't like people talking horrible things about them. They want to know who it is so they can punish them with the. How about you go to jail? Go to jail if you say that thing about me you don't like. And also recently there was a big uproar because apparently they were also talking about a VPN ban. Now the government have quickly come out with their coalition partners, National and Active, said no. There'll be no VPN ban on us while we're in charge. So National's now looking at working with the opposition to not only get the social media ban up and running, but I guarantee you there'll be a VPN ban in there as well. They'll tell you they're not doing the VPN ban, but the only way you can make it work is if you have a VPN ban. Because if you ban social media and you need digital ID for everyone in New Zealand, but people have access to VPNs, then they don't need it. So what would be the point of it? It's entirely pointless. So there will have to be a VPN ban if you're going to have these laws. Otherwise they won't work. But then of course leads to other issues, because a lot of corporations and businesses and even government departments and stuff use VPNs. So what are you going to ban them? Of course not. Of course not. They won't ban it for their people. They won't ban VPNs for the money and the politicians and their chosen groups. And it'll just be us, the little people. We won't be allowed it. Because we might say mean things about the government, or we might say naughty words, and the police might need to find us, but the police just need to do their goddamn jobs, right? Like your policemen, investigate. If you've not seen Sherlock Holmes, look for clues, solve the crime. Police today seem to want everything given to them on a plate. Now, I am sympathetic to the police. I know they've got a busy job and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's your job. It's what you signed up for, is to solve crimes. You're not here to encroach on the personal freedoms of the people of New Zealand because you can't be bothered doing your job. Just do the damn job. Just investigate. Like, it's not hard. Like, even with IP addresses and VPNs and all that sort of stuff, people can still find you. You can still find you anyway. So you're just being lazy and requiring digital ID. And once we all know what will happen, all this stuff will get hacked, and then everyone's internet usage will be put on the internet. Now that doesn't bother me. Like, you're not going to see much. You're just going to see me saying silly stuff on X, or you might see my YouTube algorithm, which is not the most exciting, to be honest. There's a lot of ancient history, some politics. There's a lot of stupid stuff. Comedy podcasts. I don't know why. I don't even watch them, but I'm not saying this because I have something to hide. I don't. I have absolutely nothing to hide. I couldn't give a rat's if my search history or anything got out there, because there's nothing on. I'm actually a pretty boring guy. I'm not very exciting, but it is government overreach, and that's not their job. Now a lot of people will say, "Hey," and I always find this funny. People say, "Hey, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear," which is kind of ironic, really, considering that I think pretty sure that was first coined by Goebbels, and I think the people there found they had a lot to fear. So yeah, a lot of people will watch this and say, hey, what are you worried about? What have you got to hide? If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. You shouldn't fear digital ID if you've got nothing to hide. And quite frankly, I don't have anything to hide. But it's not the point. Not the point. Just because I don't have anything to hide, it doesn't mean I appreciate government overreach into my personal life. It's not their job. They work for me. We pay their taxes. I don't know when they got to a point where they thought they could, just take control of everything. Like, what? No, your job's just to run. Like, I think politicians have got, in the modern era, have got it in their head that they know best, and they're here They're there to tell us how to live our lives, but no, we elect you to do the things we want you to do. But how many times have we elected people to do something and then they never do it, and they do something completely different because that's what they want to do? And we don't know why. Like, who's pushing for the social media ban? It makes no sense. It's politically unpalatable. It'll be unwieldy and expensive, and it just won't work. So why do governments all around the world keep pushing for it? What is the point? It's because they want the digital ID. But why do they want digital ID? Why do they need to keep track on everyone? I remember back in the 90s, we used to make fun of China and their social credit system and their surveillance and all that sort of stuff. But our Western governments seem to have taken it as a template and thought that's a great idea. It's not. It's not your job. Your job is to keep the fucking roads going. Your job is to keep the hospitals going, employ teachers, employ police officers, build prisons. Why are you trying to tell us what to do on the internet? It's not your job. And if you're a parent and you want the government to install an under 16 social media ban, then you're just fucking lazy. Do your damn job. If you can't monitor your kids' social media use in a way well enough that keeps them safe, then get your fingers out, get your hand, get your wallet out, and get yourself an app. Get yourself a software that you can install and keep track of your child's what your child's doing on the internet. Don't expect the government to do it. Why does some 40-year-old childless dude have to put his ID in the internet just because you can't be bothered keeping an eye on bloody little Johnny on bloody whatever he's doing? It's ridiculous. But anyway, I understand why parents want it, but at the same time, just you need to do it. It's your job. Your kids, not the government's job. And we shouldn't be expecting the government to put insane layers of bureaucracy on people just going on the internet. It's stupid. So yeah, this is just my opinion on that. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't really have much options in this election. Like, we don't really have much variety. All our political parties are a different flavor of centre left, really. I mean, and I'm not even saying I'm a right winger or anything like that, but it'd be nice to have some differing opinions, but because they're not really differing, they all basically agree. They're just different. They have different ideas of how to do it, and like, they all want the same stuff. Like, Labour and National are pretty much the same. They pretend like they're not, but they are. And the same with they're all centre-left parties. I mean, our most right-wing party would probably be Te Pāti Māori, or the Māori Party, because I suppose they're ethno-nationalists, basically. They exist for one thing, and that is to promote the ethnic will of the Māori people, which is fine, but I can't really. Why would I vote for them? They don't want to help me. So I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to vote for, basically, but I don't know. I might just skip it again. People say if you skip it, then you can't complain. I was like, watch me, I can do what I want. I can complain all I like. Yeah, can't stop me. There's no law saying if I don't vote, I can't complain. Because I've voted most elections in my life, and I still end up complaining because none of them do what I want. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on that. Let me know in the comments what you think. And yeah, see you in the next one.